Come on, everybody sit down. Get settled in. Come on, everybody sit down. Yep, get comfortable. Get comfortable. Everybody comfortable? Okay. Well, I'm Dr. John R. Gerdy, and today I'm so happy to have you with me because what we're going to do is we're going to read a book that I wrote and I also illustrated, which means I drew all the paintings and pictures for it, okay? And it's called the Alphabone Orchestra. See that? Alphabone Orchestra, right? A magically musical journey through the alphabet. So we're not only going to look at letters and learn about music, but we're going to learn about all kinds of things. And the person who's going to be bringing us on our journey, taking us on that journey, is a fella I'd like you to meet right now. His name is Dr. Dude B. Funky. Right? There he is. I've got it read now. There he is. He's going to be taking us. He's a master of disguise, a musicologist who goes all over the world looking for funky, fancy, crazy instruments. That's what he does. So he's going to bring us through the alphabet today. So, when you're doing an alphabet, where do you start? Well, you start with A. A is the first letter in the alphabet, so let's start with A, okay? The Abone Alliance always accompanies accordions on acoustic anthems and arias. Now, there is the A-bone. See, there's Dr. Funky behind there, right? You want to always try to find Dr. Funky. There's a lowercase A-bone, right? And there's Dr. Funky with his crazy head sticking up. Now, he's popping up. He pops up everywhere. You never know where he's going to show up, right? Okay? Now, the other thing that we're going to talk about, okay, is for each letter, we have something that's called a grace note. Now, grace note is a musical term for like something a little extra, like a little extra note here and there. It's like putting icing on the cake, just a little bit of extra something. It's kind of like a fun fact, something that you might want to know. It might come in handy sometime, maybe placing a bet on, who gets the next chocolate chip cookie or something like that. But anyway, grace notes are things that we're always going to talk about as well. For example, the grace note for the A-bone, an accordion can sustain a note for longer than most instruments. Let's go to the B-bone. The B-bone belongs in big bands, booming, bellowing, and blasting with a bunch of bagpipes, bassoons, bugles, bells, and banjos. Woo! That is a lot of B's, man. Woo! Yeah, see, now look at here. Dr. Funky right here. Now, he's green. He's a master of disguise. He goes into all colors. And look at him over here. Ooh, see that? He's a long, tall one right there. His arms are out there coming around playing the B-bone, right? Well, how about that grace note for the B-bone? Long ago, bagpipes, which is an instrument, were used to scare people away during battle. Interesting thing to know. In case you get in a battle, you might want to have a bagpipe. Scare people away. The C-bone club can include clarinets, cornets, cellos, crazy cajones, and crashing cymbals. Whoa, wait a second. Speaking of crashing cymbals, I just happen to have a small set of cymbals there. That's crashing cymbals if I ever heard it, right? Grace note for the C-bone. Musical training develops language and math skills, and it improves memorization, instills discipline, and nurtures creativity. You tell that to mom and dad. That's one of the reasons why it's important to play music, because you can learn those kinds of things. Let's go to the D-bone. Dan the dentist, Donna the doctor, and Daffy Duck all dig the dynamic, deafening D-bone. The grace note is music. Playing music is good for your heart. Huh. Yeah, I can see how that would be. That's probably a good thing, isn't it? Here, so look at this. See, there's D-bone, right? There's the uppercase D-bone. Dr. Funky back there doing his thing. And there's Dr. Funky right there sticking his head up. Man, he's like kind of aqua blue on that one. Okay, let's go to the E-bone. The E-bone ensemble enthusiastically entertained everyone with an excellent example of an enjoyable, exciting encore. The grace note. A song that gets stuck in your head is called an earworm. Isn't that kind of crazy? But you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what Dr. Funky's talking about here. It's like sometimes you have a song, I don't know what it could be, the wheels on the bus go round and round, or Jingle Bells, or Mom and Dad, might be some Jimi Hendrix or the Allman Brothers Band, I don't know, Whipping Post, something like that. But the note, it gets stuck in your head, and you find you're walking around and you're singing that song in your head and just can't get it out of it. It's like you got an earworm in there, right? That's what that's called when that happens. The F-Bone Federation flew to France for the Fantastic Flute Festival. And did you know the grace note? The flute is the oldest instrument in the world to play notes. Now, I bet you drums are probably the oldest instrument in the world, or maybe singing, I don't know. But to play notes, it's the flute. Look at that. See, there's the F-bone, Dr. Funky playing it, music coming out of the horn, the bell of the horn. See, there you go. That's pretty cool. The G-bone group gathered their gaggle of green gongs, golden glockenspiels, and grody guitars with gusto. With gusto. The grace note is, in German, glockenspiel means to play the bells. Look at that. See, there's the G-bone, uppercase. There's the lowercase G-bone. And look at Dr. Funky. Man, that dude's hanging upside down from the page. He shows up at all kinds of places. You never know when Dr. Funky's going to show up. He'll be looking around the corner, because he might be looking around the corner at you, ready to play some music with you. That would be cool. Play some music with Dr. Funky. H-bone is a heavy horn humming in harmony with huge harps and hushed harmonicas. Whoa, the grace note. How about this? The world's best-selling instrument. What do you think the world's best-selling instrument is? It's the harmonica. And I happen to have one with me. So I'm going to take a quick harmonica break, if that's okay with you. Is that okay with you? The harmonica, the world's best-selling instrument. You know what else? It's also called the shirt pocket piano, right? Because you can fit it in your pocket. Also called the Mississippi saxophone and the tin sandwich. It's like kind of like it's kind of like you're eating a sandwich, but anyway, it's made out of tin, so they called it tin sandwich. But that's the harmonica. Harmonica's a great instrument. The I-bone. Oh, did I show you that? Let's see. Did I show you the H-bone? So I don't know if I did or not. Yeah, there you go. There you go. The H-bone. See, look at that. There's Dr. Funky. Yeah, there's the H-bone. There it is. After H is the letter I. The I-bone is an itty-bitty but incredibly interesting and impressive, very impressive, Italian instrument. The grace note, playing in a music group or orchestra, develops communication and bandwork skills. And what that means is when you're playing with a group in music, you're learning how to help each other out and work together to try to play a song. And those are good things to know how to do, to share, to help your fellow musicians, right? So here's the I-bone. That's a big old I-bone right there. Yep, there you have it. There's the I-bone. The Jumbo J-Bone Jubilee in June is in Jamaica. The grace note. There are few activities in life that utilize the entire brain. And music is one of them. There's the J-Bone. Man, look at that Dr. Funky, man, hanging from the ceiling again. He's in blue this time. Man, he's a master of disguise. Can never tell what kind of outfit he's going to show up in. The kooky kangaroo from Kalamazoo, that's in Michigan, kept his K-bone on a keyboard on a kayak in Kenya. Kenya's in Africa. The grace note. Multiple studies prove that singing in a group improves your mood. Now think about it. You're hanging out with your friends, your class, with your classmates, and you start singing a song that you all like, and you're all singing together. That makes you feel good, doesn't it? That's a lot of fun to sing with other people. Do it as much as you can, okay? Because it's good. It's good for you. But anyway, here's the K-bone. Oh, yeah, there you have it. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the K-bone. The L-bone looks lovely. Lucy the Ladybug's large Louisiana laundromat. The grace note is, tell your parents this one. Music education leads to better test scores. That's a good reason, another good reason to play a musical instrument. Right? Here's the L-bone. Yep, here's that L-bone. A lot of music coming out of that L-bone. Oh yeah, look at that. There's the other. Oh, it's looking good. Whoa! The M-bone mob marched from Maine to Mexico with many muted mandolins. The grace note. The mandolin is considered one of the easier instruments to play. There's the M-bone. See, on that page, Dr. Funky is green. This one, he's white. But he's still playing the M-bone. Good instrument to play. Naturally, Nate from Nantucket and Ned from Neptune never needed their new N-bones at night. Why would you need your N-bone at night? I think that's more of a morning instrument, maybe. Grace note, Jingle Bells, that song Jingle Bells, written by James Lord P. Pierpont. Probably sounds like a French guy. It was written in 1857, and it was originally meant to be sung, you're not going to believe this, during Thanksgiving. Right? So Jingle Bells, and then Thanksgiving, and turkey, and dressing, and I don't know, but that's what he wrote it for. That's what he wrote it for. A lot of people don't know that, but now you do, because you listen to the Alphabone Orchestra grace note for the N-bone. Yeah, see, that's a good N-bone right there. There's a lowercase. And look at Dr. Funky sticking his head up there from the bottom of the page. Man, that dude, can't keep him down, can you? The old Alphabone Orchestra played outrageous octaves and odd oboes and offbeat organs at the Ontario Opera. The grace note, a musician who plays an oboe can be referred to as an oboe player or oboist. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? Because what would you rather be called, right? If you played the oboe, right? You played the oboe, would you rather be called an oboe player or an oboist? That's a good question. And you know what? The oboe is a great instrument to play, right? So you might want to think about that before you start playing the oboe. But any way you do it, play the oboe if you can. It's fun. The P-Bone Patrol played pink pianos and purple piccolos at Peter's party perfectly. The grace note, you're never going to get this. Let me put it this way. How many working parts do you think there are in pianos? Take a guess. Go ahead. Take a guess. 10, 20, 50, 100. Take a guess. You know how many? 7,500. See, there's the P-bone. Dr. Funky playing it. Another P-bone. Yeah. There you go. Ah, yes, the Q-bone. The Q-bone quartet from Quebec was quite quiet. Grace note, listening to music while exercising, right? Everybody should exercise. You should always try to exercise every day if you can. Exercise is important, right? Can significantly improve your workout performance. Might be able to make you run faster, jump higher, be stronger. Music can help in that regard. Tell your mom and dad that one. There's the Q-bone. Yep. Yep, there you go. Oh, wait, I gotta move my fingers here. Look at Dr. Funky. Yep, there he is. He's up to his old tricks. Ah, yes, the R-bone. Reggie the Red Rabbit regularly... Woo, that's a hard one. Reggie the Red Rabbit regularly recorded reggae records with his R-bone on the radio. Grace note. Playing music builds self-confidence. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense. You learn how to play an instrument, you get good at it, you go and play in front of people clap, and that makes you feel good. That builds self-confidence. So yeah, it's another good reason why you should play a musical instrument. All right? There you go. There's Dr. Funky playing the R-bone. He's probably playing some reggae music on the R-bone, would be my guess. The Society of S-Bone Sisters Sextet sang sonatas, songs, and soprano solos with the Symphony of Silliness. That's going to be a heck of a symphony of silliness. Woo, you want to, that's, wow, how are you going to do that? It's going to be silly one way or the other. But anyway, the grace note, music helps plants grow faster. Now, can you believe that? So like if you're at home, right? You got some house plants, or like your mom has some house plants or something, and then she's like, oh man, my plants aren't growing very well, right? Try playing them some music. They might start sprouting up out the ceiling, or out the window. They might start growing so fast. Dr. Dude Be Funky knows what he's talking about, and he says that music helps plants grow faster. Here's the S-bone. Look at that. That's a nice one. Yeah, I like that one. Oh man, wouldn't you know it? Dr. Funky in green right there. Master of disguise. The T-Bone team of tiny turtle troubadours tightly tuned their tambourines, trumpets, and tubas together. Whoa! Tambourines. Time for tambourine break. Tambourine. This is a good looking one too. Look at it. I'm not looking good. Yeah, that's a tambourine. Tambourine's a great instrument to play. If you ever get your hands on a tambourine, shake it. Shake it. Well, how about the grace note? Whoa! Most tubas, I bet you didn't know this. Most tubas have about 16 feet of tubes. I mean, that's a lot of tubes. That's like from here to, I don't know, Des Moines, Iowa, or Kansas City maybe. I don't know. That's a long way. 16 feet of tubes. Can you believe it? There's T-bone. See that? Oh yeah. Here's the other T-bone. Something. Isn't it? Ooh, let's go to the U-bone. Okay. The ukulele unit played in unison under their umbrellas, in their uniforms, at the U-Bone University. That's where they study to play U-bones. That's where they teach you how to play U-Bone University, you know. The grace note, the name ukulele in Hawaiian, right? Hawaii is one of the states, or 50 states in the United States. It's way out in the Pacific Ocean, right? It's a beautiful place. But you know what it means in Hawaiian? Jumpin' flea. Whoa. So you mean when I say to my Hawaiian friends, I say, hey, I'm going to play the ukulele a little bit. And they say, oh, no, what do you mean? You're playing the jumping flea? Yeah, well, they're from Hawaii. They should know. That's where the ukulele comes from. So they call it the jumping flea. And why wouldn't you? Why not? That's what they say in Hawaii. That's good enough for me. There's the U-bone. Yeah, there you go. Dr. Funky in the corner there. Sticking his head out, checking things out. The V-bone virtuoso's vast vibraphone vibrated very violently. The grace note, the vibraphone is considered a percussion instrument. There's the V-bone and the other V-bone. Okay. Dr. Funky playing them all. He can play every instrument in this book. Dr. Funky can. The W-bone waltz of wee woodwinds was weird, wild, and wacky when whispered by Wally the wildebeest. The grace note. This is something. Remember I talked about making a bet earlier? If you learn something from the grace note, you might bet somebody for a chocolate chip cookie. Here's a trick question for you, okay? Not all woodwinds are made of wood. Really? Some are made of metal or plastic. It's like if you say a trick question. Say, hey, Joey, you think all woodwinds are made of wood? Yeah, I'm thinking Joey's a pretty reasonable guy, right? I'm sure he's going to probably say, yeah, of course they are. Why would they call them woodwinds if they all weren't made out of wood? And you can say, ah, ha, ha, not so fast. Some woodwinds are made out of metal or plastic. Keep that trick up your sleeve in case you need it. X-bones and xylophones are excellent, exciting, but extremely expensive. Very expensive. The grace note. Xylophones were used in Senegal, which is in Africa, to scare birds and monkeys out of fields and gardens. So xylophones are not only good instruments and cool instruments, right? But you could bring them out in your garden, like let's say mom and dad have a garden in the back, right? And you got birds and I don't know if you have monkeys or not, but they're in their garden eating all the food and stuff. You bring out that xylophone, man, knock it around and scare them off. Don't let them eat all your food from the garden. All right. The Y bone, played by the young yellow yak from Yonkers, yowled and yelped in the yard. The grace note, unborn babies hear and react to music. So like when you were in your mom's tummy, you could hear music, and sometimes you kind of dance around a little bit, maybe, right? But that's an interesting grace note fun fact. Whoa, we're already at Z. Look at this. Oh wait, I didn't show you the Y bone, did I? Let's go back there and get you a look at that. Did I show you the Y bone? Yeah, there you go. Let's get the back there. I don't want to leave out the Y bone. Y bone's a good bone. Right? But man, we're already at Z. Look at that. We're at Z. Z is the last letter of the alphabet. See that? Yeah, look at Dr. Funky playing that Z bone, right? Start at A, end at Z. Z's the last one, right? The zany zebra zealously played the Z-bone and zither in the Zambian zoo. Grace note is a person who plays the zither is called a zitherist. And as far as I'm concerned, we came to the end of the alphabet at the exact right time with the Z because the zitherist is a hard word to say. God, you try saying it. Zitherist. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. But anyway, Dr. Funky, Dr. Dude Be Funky, we've completed our magical musical journey through the alphabet. And so if you guys liked this, okay, you like looking at the letters, and you like to find Dr. Funky, and you liked hearing all the grace notes and the different information that you got out of here. If you liked it, you could tell your mom or dad or aunt or uncle or grandpa, grandma, hey, maybe they might want to buy you one for a present. Buy the Alphabone Orchestra. And if you want to get the Alphabone Orchestra, you go to alphaboneorchestra.com to order it. So we're bringing this to a close, and a couple things. One last thought for you, okay? Whatever you do, keep on reading and never stop singing. So on behalf of Dr. Dude Be Funky, I'm Dr. John R. Gerdy, and it's been wonderful to spend this time with you. Good night, and we'll see you the next time.